So, what is the single most critical part of leadership? You got it, making decisions. And today, we're going to move way past pure guesswork and gut instinct. We're going to build a powerful toolkit that really turns decision making into a science of strategy. You know, it really all boils down to this one powerful idea. At its very core, leadership is all about making the tough calls when the path forward is anything but clear. It's not about making more decisions, it's about making better ones, especially when the stakes are sky high. And this quote, it's going to be our guidepost for this whole explainer. Okay, so let's set the stage. Every leader, faces chaos, ambiguity, and a ton of pressure. So the real question is, how do you handle it? Do you just react to whatever's thrown at you, or do you respond with a clear plan? This, right here, is the fundamental difference between guesswork and greatness, and it's exactly why having a process is absolutely essential. Think of it like this. There are two roads you can take. On one side, you've got guesswork. It's totally reactive, driven by that gut feel, and it's just riddled with hidden biases. And frankly, it's a huge risk. But on the other side, you've got frameworks. Now, this path is structured, it's informed by actual data, it's robust enough to handle the unexpected, and it is fundamentally strategic. Now, frameworks, they aren't just some abstract academic idea. Nope, they are very specific tools for very specific problems. Are you drowning in data? A framework helps you find the signal in all that noise. Under a crazy deadline, it lets you do a rapid but still structured analysis. Worried your own biases are creeping in? It acts like a guardrail. And maybe most importantly, it forces you to think about the long-term consequences, not just the quick, easy win. All right, so now that we've got the why down, let's actually open up this toolkit. I want you to think of what's coming next as your essential set of mental models. These are the frameworks you can pull out to perfectly match whatever challenge you're facing. But before we can even dream of making those big strategic calls, we've got to tackle something that hits us every single day. The flood of tasks and requests. So, how in the world do you decide where to focus your most valuable resource, your attention? And this is where something called the Eisenhower matrix is an absolute game changer. It's this brilliantly simple tool for sorting everything on your plate. If something is urgent and important, you do it now. No questions asked. Important but not urgent, you schedule it. This is where the deep strategic work really happens. Urgent but not that important, delegate it. Get it off your plate. And if it's neither urgent nor important, just eliminate it. Gone. Mastering this simple triage frees up so much mental space for the bigger decisions. All right, let's dive into our first major framework. This one is all about one thing: speed. When you're in a fast-moving, competitive world, your ability to adapt on the fly is everything. And for that, we have the OODA Loop. So this actually started as a military strategy concept, and it's a super rapid decision cycle. You start by observing the environment, just gathering the raw data. Then you orient yourself. You try to make sense of all that data. Based on that understanding, you decide on the best course of action, and then, boom, you act. But here's the secret sauce. It's not just about going through the steps. The real win comes from cycling through this loop faster and more effectively than your competition. That's how you gain the upper hand. So when is this the right tool for the job? Well, it's perfect for crisis management, for reacting to a competitor's big move, for navigating those sudden market shifts, or for running agile teams. Basically, anytime the speed of your adaptation is your biggest competitive advantage, the OODA Loop is your go-to. Okay, but let's be real. Not every decision is a race. Some require depth, not speed. And that brings us to our next tool. This one is all about strategic foresight. It's called second-order thinking, and it's like seeing the chessboard several moves ahead. You know, most people stop right at the immediate consequence of a decision. They see the first domino fall and they stop thinking. But a truly strategic thinker asks this one powerful question. And then what? They trace that whole chain of effects to uncover the hidden long-term outcomes. Let me give you a perfect example. A first-order thinker says, hey, if we cut our prices, we'll sell more stuff. Simple enough, right? But hold on. The second-order thinker goes way deeper. They ask, okay, but how might that price cut devalue our brand? How will it change what customers expect from us? And what if it kicks off a massive price war with our competitors? You see, that immediate benefit might be hiding a much, much larger long-term cost. And right there, that's the difference. That is what separates a tactical manager from a true strategic leader. It's having the discipline to look past the easy, obvious answer, to anticipate the ripples your decisions will create way down the line. That's how you avoid those devastating strategic blindsides. So, now you've got the tools, but think about it. Just like a master carpenter, having a hammer and a saw doesn't automatically make you an expert, right? Mastery comes from understanding how to use the tools effectively and, just as importantly, knowing all the hidden traps you need to avoid. You see, the biggest traps you'll face, they aren't out there. They're in here. They're our own cognitive biases, those little mental shortcuts our brains love to take that can lead our decisions way off track. And that's why these frameworks are so powerful. They act as mental guardrails, forcing us into a more logical and less biased process. And one of the absolute most dangerous is confirmation bias. This is that little voice in our head that loves to find evidence that proves we're right, while, conveniently ignoring anything that suggests we might be wrong. A good framework forces you to look at all the data, not just the stuff you like. Oh, and here's another classic, the sunk cost fallacy. You know that feeling, right? We've already put so much time and money into this, we can't possibly stop now, even when all the signs are screaming that it's a failure. It's the terrible logic of throwing good money after bad, and it's a trap that has sunk countless projects. The real pros, the master decision makers, they don't just stick to one framework. They stack them. So for a really complex challenge, you might use the OODA Loop for the immediate crisis response. But at the exact same time, you're applying second-order thinking to consider the long-term strategic implications of every move you make. Okay, so let's bring it all home. The modern decision maker's toolkit, it really comes down to building a few key habits. Always use structured frameworks. Learn to separate the raw data from your interpretation of it. Whenever you can, make your decisions reversible. Actively encourage people to disagree with you. You need those dissenting voices. And finally, pilot small experiments before you go all in on a huge project. These are the principles that guide truly great decisions. And let's end on this one thought, because it's so important. The goal here isn't to become some kind of psychic who can perfectly predict the future. I mean, nobody can do that. The goal is to build a robust process for navigating uncertainty. True leadership isn't about having all the answers, it's about having a better system for finding them. And that is a skill that can be learned, practiced, and mastered.